Hello, second graders. Today we're going to continue with our conventions lesson for lesson 14. Our convention objective is I will be able to identify forms of irregular verbs. So these verbs do not follow the rule of adding ed to the end when we need to form the past tense. So some examples are begin changes to began, break changes to broke, and bring changes to brought. Let's look at some more examples of verbs that change to their irregular form in the past tense. Okay, our first example, build changes to built. We get rid of the D and add a T. Buy is the present tense. In the past tense, it changes to bought. Catch changes to caught. So we have, again, this is the present tense. Build changes to built. Buy changes to bought. And catch changes to caught. Okay, some more examples. Come. For example, the boy will come to my house. In the past tense, it's going to change to came. The boy came to my house yesterday. Cost will actually stay the same. So cost is in the present and it stays the same in the past. Also, if we look at the verb cut, it also stays the same. It does not change. Okay, win will change to won. Write, today I write my paper. Yesterday I wrote my paper. And be changes to was or were. Throw will change to through. We change that middle vowel from an O to an E. Understand will change to understood. And wear will change to wore. Some more examples. Again, this is the present tense, what is happening now. Teach changes to taught. Tell changes to told. Think will change to thought. Okay, a few more examples. Make. Today the girl makes bubbles with her bubble gum. Last week she made bubbles with her bubble gum. Meet will change to met. We get rid of one of these E's. And pay will change to paid. So again, to review, irregular verbs change their spelling in their past tense forms. Irregular verbs often change their spelling in their past participle forms as well. The past participle form is used with a helping verb to make other tenses of a verb. Let's look at some examples. I hit the ball. Yesterday I hit the ball. George was hit in the head by a ball. With some irregular verbs, all three forms, so that's the base form, the simple past, and the past participle, are the same. Our next example, I tell her to brush her teeth every night. I told her to come back tomorrow. Have you told anyone about your new job? With other irregular verbs, the simple past is the same as the past participle, but different from the base form. So in the present, it's tell, and then it would change to told and have told. Next, I never break my promise. He broke his arm. Somebody has broken the window. With other irregular verbs, all three forms are different. Okay, so if we look at lesson 14 in our conventions, we are going to identify forms of irregular verbs. Our directions are to underline. So what I always like to do is I underline the word underline to help me remember what I have to do. So we underline the irregular verb in each sentence. Number 1 says, Florence walked back to her house because she had forgotten her bag. So here I notice that I have the verb walked is in the past tense, but I see this ed here. So this is actually the regular form. So I'm not going to underline it. Now if I look at my next verb, had forgotten, this is going to be my irregular verb. The spelling changes. Okay, number 2, Wallace understood that he could not talk loudly in the library. Okay, so I notice that I have a verb here, talk. That's the present tense, that's regular. But if I look back here, I see this verb here, understood. That is my irregular verb. So this is the past tense form of understand. Finally, number 3, Gloria fixed the flat tire and drove home. Okay, so again, I see this ed ending. That's regular. To change the verb fix in the present tense, it changes to fixed in the past tense. Now if I look here, drove is my irregular verb because the present tense verb is drive. I'm changing this middle vowel. So again, my irregular verbs in number 1 is forgotten, in number 2, understood, and number 3, it's drove. If you have any questions about forming irregular verbs in the past tense, please leave me a question on my Google Classroom, or we can have a Google Meet to clarify.